Welcome back to yet another edition of the I Prefer the 80s and 90s Sports Podcast. Excuse me for that little glitch there. My head is spinning today, and hopefully in the next few days I can explain to you why. This is a podcast about sports where I, Richard Harris, talk about why I prefer the sports of the 80s and 90s to the sports of today. Today's topic is basketball, but tonight the NBA starts its season. A season of uncertainty, a season of new things, a season looking for a true identity. See, in the 80s and the 90s, the theme of basketball was NBA action is fantastic. And it was fantastic because it was about the fans. The game was fast-paced, high scoring. Superstars were superstars. Incredible plays, dunks, layups, timely shots. Superstar teams didn't exist. They were created because of the college draft, not because somebody wants to go play with his buddy. The NBA was the show. As great as football was, and baseball was, and hockey was in the 80s, they all had their glamorous runs, but nothing was like the 80s into the 90s. And it had the right leading men. It had polarizing stories. It had stupid stories. It had very, 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 very little drama because it was all about the action on the floor. The 90s got a little bit wacky because the 90s had limited drama. In the 90s, you knew who was going to win and why they won. The 80s, you knew who was going to win, you knew why they won, but it was exciting. But in the late 80s, middle of the 90s, basketball was kind of dragged down a little bit because of those styles that were played by Pistons and Spurs. The Bulls tried to fight through it and were able to. Didn't have to face the Spurs though. Mike retired. Houston kept it going with Hakeem. Basketball still was at a high level in this country, and it was still fantastic. Can you say that about today? Can you say that NBA action is fantastic today? I listen to these pundits talk all the time about basketball, talk about all the time about how the game, how the athletes, they don't say the game is better, they say the athletes are better. And what better way to show that you're better than through the athletic form of basketball? That's what separates and separated Dr. J, Michael Jordan, Dominique Wilkins, Vince Carter, to the athletes today. Now, Vince Carter started out as playing like a 90s athlete. But then Vince said, nah, I can last longer in this league if I make jump shots. If I can shoot the three, I can play till I'm 43. And that's exactly what he did. Today's NBA, it's fascinating because I'm going to try to give a good example and a good analogy. Injuries in football happen because of the physical contact. Injuries in baseball happen because you're playing 162 games, you play on different surfaces that are all supposed to be the same surface, and your body breaks down because you're traveling city to city more rapidly than you do in any other sport. Plus, you get hurt if you get hit by a ball, you get hit with a pitch, you get hurt swinging a bat 560 times, even though the bat doesn't weigh but 32 to 40 ounces. Funny injuries happen in baseball. The NBA in the 80s and 90s had injuries. Michael Jordan broke his foot, missed 68 games, but came back to play and put on a show in the postseason. People had knee injuries, hamstring injuries. Magic Johnson tearing his hamstring in the finals and against the Pistons. Memorable injuries like Isaiah Thomas spraining his ankle. His ankle was the size of a golf ball, but he stayed in the game and dropped 42 points. Today, they drop like flies. Anthony Davis should be the best player in the league. He is the most difficult matchup in the league, not Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is 7'3" and has decided that he don't like being 7'3". He has decided that he wants to play like a guard, shoot on the perimeter. And so he allows guards to affect his game. And he's also hurt. He's gotten better at it over the last few years because he doesn't go in the post. He stays outside of the post. He plays selective defense. He plays selectively hard. And therefore, he's had seasons recently where he's played a lot of games. And maybe the body of a 7'3" guy is not meant to move in the way that he moves. Maybe the body of Anthony Davis as a 6'11", 7-foot guy is not meant to move the way he moves. Maybe it's not meant to carry that weight. I don't know. David Robinson was 7'1", in incredible shape, physically ripped, fit. He played a lot of games. I don't remember David Robinson missing too many games. Patrick Ewing. I don't remember Patrick Ewing at a 7-foot, not missing too many games. Shaq, not missing too many games until he got older. Arvydas Sabonis. He was 7'4". Manute Bol, George Mirasan, they were 7'6", 7'7". Yao Ming, 7'6". Until they got older. But today's NBA has cheated us as fans because it's not fantastic. Because if it was fantastic, then teams would not tell their players, yo, man, you ain't playing tonight. Excuse me? You're not playing tonight. Load management. You can't play tonight. And you say, he's doing that for the betterment of the team, not the fan. Well, without the fan, who pays the money for the salaries of the players, what do you got? Well, we had that when COVID hit in 2019. There were no fans allowed for basketball games, and so they put them all in a bubble and determined the champion. The Lakers beat the Heat. And so now the NBA's put in rules to make the players play. to try to get back what it lost in the 80s and 90s. And here's one thing that I find fascinating and funny. In the 80s and 90s, the NBA didn't have to hold on to its oldest players to draw fans. There was a buzz, there was an excitement about new faces, about players that when a Dr. J retired, nobody felt bad about the game. That when a Kareem retired, no one felt sorry for the game. Because they had Larry Bird, they had Magic Johnson, they had Allen Iverson, they had that guy in Chicago that everyone hates today. And when he quit the first time, when he retired, everyone was like, uh-oh, how are we going to survive? But he only retired for 1 year, and then he came back. But the 1 year that he was out, the year and a half that he was out, it allowed Houston to come in and show that Olajuwon is special too. That's what this generation doesn't understand, that the game goes on. LeBron has been great for 20 years, but now we need new faces to be the game. They wanted it to be John Morant because John Morant plays like they played in the 80s and 90s. But John Morant can't stay out of trouble. Steph Curry created a new NBA by his shooting. His ability to make three-point shots from any and everywhere on the court changed basketball forever. But it doesn't make the game fantastic because not every team can shoot like Steph Curry, like Klay Thompson. And that is what has turned people off from basketball. What has turned people off from basketball is the game. Everybody questions so much about it. And, well, this year's might be different because they're making them play. And you go to see your favorite player play, and Zion Williamson is sitting on the sideline in street clothes. You go to see your team because California, nobody's from California. Everybody's from every place else. And you get to see the Knicks play, and the team that you're going to see to play against, the Clippers or the Lakers, their players don't play. Knicks players don't play. And now this year, the league is bringing in a new super phenom by the name of Victor Wembanyama. He is supposed to be the new revolutionary player. And he is revolutionary. 7'4", and he can run and jump and do things that people 6'1" do. And it's exciting. But we're all sitting at home with three thoughts in our head. First thought, is he going to play when they play my team? Because Popovich is the one who started all this load management nonsense. Number two, is he really that good? Preseason games, well, he didn't play against everybody's starters. And is he going to be great in the first half of the season because no one knows how to guard him and it's fresh and new and he's going to be energized? And then fade off in the second half because he ain't played 82 games before in his career. He's never had to go through the travels and all the stuff that he's going to have to go through as a grown man in this league. And the sad one is the third one, and probably the most important one. And that is he going to be healthy? Is he going to be able to take the physicality of certain players in this league? One of the saddest moments in the last 5 years in basketball was Lonzo Ball's first NBA game. After his father talked all this stuff about his sons are going to take over the league. They're going to all be Lakers and put the championship back in LA where it belongs. And Lonzo Ball's first NBA game, he got to face Patrick Beverley. And Patrick Beverley put the smack down on him, played defense on him like he has never had played on him in his life. Is Victor going to fizzle? Is Victor going to go up against somebody in the league that's going to embarrass him? I said this earlier this summer, and I still mean it. I'm worried for him because I think people are going to go for him. People are going to try to dunk on him. People are going to try to embarrass him. And you hope that he has the thick skin to be able to handle success and failure. Because he's going to have both. He's going to succeed. There are going to be nights where no one's going to be able to guard him. He's going to score 30. He might even score 40. He might even score 50. Because nobody plays defense, so he's going to put up some stats. And then we're going to hear the stupid stats for the whole season. He's the first 7'4" guy to shoot 14 threes in a game. He's the first guy from France to play in Memphis and make a left-handed shot. As a fan, I'm excited to see it. I bought my ticket for Sunday night against the Clippers. Will he be there to play? We'll see. But I long for NBA action to be fantastic. I long for the fancy pass, the slam dunk, the alley-oop. Not the 4-on-1 fast break. Here come the Warriors. And Curry has the ball. He shoots from 28 feet and he hits. And you're like, well, why didn't he pass up for the dunk? Well, because he made the shot. Okay. Brunson comes down in a 4-on-1 break. He passes it to Barrett. Barrett fires a shot. He misses. Rebounded. Oh, my goodness gracious. He had a 4-on-1. What is he shooting the 3 for? Because he missed. This year is going to be crazy in the NBA because all these teams have mixed up teams. The Bucks picked up Dame Lillard. The Celtics got Holiday somehow. And Porzingis. And sent Robert Williams, who's been nothing but outstanding for them, to Portland. Sent Smart to Memphis. The Lakers added some players that are really good. Question is, they going to take the pressure off LeBron? Wood can take the pressure off LeBron. Wood can shoot. And will they end their losing streak to the Clippers? Isn't that funny? The Lakers have lost 11 straight games to the Clippers, and nobody says boo about it. Nobody says a word about it. But the other night, or the other day, or last week, the Jets in football played the Eagles. They don't play the Eagles that often. And the Jets finally beat the Eagles. And for like 3 days, they kept bringing up the fact that it was the first time in the history of the Jets that they beat the Eagles in 7 games. The Jets have been around since 1960. That shows you how infrequent they play the Eagles. And it was a big deal. But the fact that the Clippers have beaten the Lakers 11 straight times, nobody says anything about that. I mentioned to people on the street who yell at me for wearing Clipper gear, and it goes in one ear and out the other. They go, yeah, well, how many championships you have? How many championships they got? Why is that relevant? We just beat you again 11 times in a row. And yes, the Lakers had a longer streak. They beat the Clippers' butt so much in the 90s. It's not even funny. And stories are coming out about how the Clippers could have had Kobe. I believe they didn't even work him out. Anyway, I digress. A lot of stories. A lot of players got confidence in the offseason. I want to see how Minnesota improves because my man is bad. And I can't wait to see how well he plays this year. I want to see how Orlando progresses. The Kings last year, it was their year. I want to see how much they progress. The Knicks had a great year last year. Can we do something with it? Did we get better? It's a wild, wild NBA. To the point where we don't talk about the defending champion unless it's LeBron. Unless it's the Warriors. Actually, they don't even really talk about the Warriors when they were defending champion. They talk only about LeBron. But is it a year in which the Nuggets get love? I don't think they're going to get love, and I don't think they're going to get back to the finals either. I think losing Brown is a big loss. And they don't stay healthy either. Michael Porter Jr. don't ever stay healthy. He plays most of the games, and if he stays healthy, maybe they can repeat. But he don't stay healthy. Aaron Gordon. Which Aaron Gordon are we going to see? Are they hungry or are they not hungry? Anthony Edwards was the Minnesota player I was talking about, by the way. I mean, he was the best player on Team USA this summer. I want the NBA to be back to being fantastic. And the biggest question for me is, can they win me back? I hope they can. And my finals prediction, Bucks and the Kings. Get it done, Giannis, for Dame Lillard.